So now we'll go on to CVs and resumes. I've given you an example in your information pack. Again, that's actually my example, except I've taken my work history out of it because I don't think some of my past employers would like me sharing that sort of information. Yeah. So again, can I get an indication of someone who doesn't have a current resume or CV? Okay, well we can talk about it after if you'd like. But so everybody here would understand that it really is a vital role in your application. And the reason why it's so important is because it really does provide a snapshot about you and your work history. So they're really, really important. And together, as I said before, with your cover letter, that's really what determines whether you will be invited for an interview. So resume do's, that's quite lengthy, but to give you an overview, you want to use clear, active language. That's really important. So make sure your resume is factual and free from spelling errors. Why? Because that says to me that you do not have attention to detail, and that's really, really important. It doesn't communicate very well when there are errors on your CV or resume. The same as if the font is out, so you've got something wrong and something's not aligned and you've got different bullet points, it's all over. I'm just going to skip to the next person who's got a beautifully structured resume. You really want to emphasize your transferable skills. That's really important. So, okay, maybe I haven't communicated to senior stakeholders, but I have talked to people in higher positions. So you want to be able to use what you've already done and transfer it to the role that you're applying for. Another thing, and this is really just from a recruiter's perspective, please use a standard Word or PDF format. Sometimes we get it in different software programs and we can't open it. And then you have to go back and ask someone to resubmit it, and it's just, there's a lot of effort. So Word or PDF are the best. Other things, word art, there's really no need for that either. Let what you have in your CV communicate on strength alone. You don't need any gimmicks. Don't include a photograph. Just don't do it. I don't need to go into any other detail, just don't. It gives people an opportunity to make an assumption. Within the government, we're all about diversity, so it doesn't matter about your background or gender or anything like that, but just don't include it. It just doesn't communicate very well. Now in some other countries it does. I know I did some work in Europe and a lot of people use photos there, but we don't do it here. Okay? Most importantly, don't lie. A lot of people say, oh, but you can embellish, so I was a sales manager when you really weren't. That's going to be really awkward when it comes to an interview and they say, tell me about your management skills, and you don't have any. So just don't lie. So a lot of people might write finance coordination, and that was really when they just went to the bank. I would strongly advise, if part of your responsibility was banking, just put banking responsibilities. You don't need to gloss and embellish. It's just not necessary. This is probably another just personal pet peeve, is inappropriate email addresses. Just be aware of that when you're applying for positions. That's really important because, again, that will, I guess, send a message that maybe is not entirely accurate. We always say to avoid including private information. So it's just not necessary. It doesn't affect how you will perform the role. So it's just doesn't need to be put in there. Another tip is not to, yes? You do not have to, because it's actually, yes, so there's a difference between private information and just contact details. So you want to include your contact details, but date of birth, that doesn't affect how you're going to perform in the role, so don't put it on there. You know, you'll put when you graduated a university, or maybe when you graduated high school, so managers can figure it out. If you've got 20 years experience, you're obviously not under 30, but it's just not necessary, so you don't need to put it on. Gender, nope, I wouldn't worry about it. When you do apply for government jobs, we do ask a few of those questions on Smart Jobs. A lot of that is for our reporting purposes. We want to know the diversity of people who are applying, but it's just got nothing to do with the recruitment process. And anyone who asks for that information, just be really careful that you respond with, how does this relate to the role that I'm applying for?